Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Vinupurarachi.
And I'm Kenza Farooq. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight. Leader of the House says the government is ready to face any no-confidence motion within the parliamentary process. The President meets US trade agency representatives and new office bearers at the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. The Supreme Court grants leave to hear a fundamental right petition against parliamentarian Nama Rajapaksa. A decision was taken to grant the salary as an allowance until the demise of either spouse of civil defense heroes. 1,640 million rupees paid as compensation for crop damages. Protests in France following the new Prime Minister's swearing in. In your top local news for today, Leader of the House, Minister Bima Ratnayake, told in the Parliament that the government is ready to face any no-confidence motion brought within the parliamentary system.
And the Speaker ordered the suspension of the functioning of the Parliament for 10 minutes due to a tense situation after a heated argument. Parliamentarian Gayantha Karunatilaka said that the Speaker has made a statement regarding the no-confidence motion presented by the opposition. A request was able to table the report of Attorney General along with a report of the Board of Secretaries. Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne observed that the Board of Secretaries has provided the report for the reference of the Speaker. The Speaker presented a brief report after referring to the above two facts. Parliamentarian Ajit P. Pereira pointed out that there is no argument regarding the order issued by the Speaker. The reports of the Attorney General and the Board of Secretaries have to be tabled in the Parliament. Minister Bimal Ratnayake said that regarding this proposal, it has been stated on the very first day of the presentation, it is the Parliament that the Speaker can bring any proposal. The government is ready to face this. An opposition parliamentarian has stated that no confidence motion cannot be brought against a deputy minister. On the 2nd of December 2007, Joseph Michael Pereira, as the Speaker, presented a no-confidence motion against the State Minister of Labour, Mervyn Silva, but it was not allowed to be debated in the Parliament. Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne observed that there are other options available for this and the decision has to be taken based on the two reports. Minister Bimal Ratnayake said that there is no problem if the opposition is taking up any proposal. A proposal to express displeasure can be brought within the parliamentary procedure, but there is no need to waste time on such a matter. Influence is being used to threaten the Speaker and to bring a no-confidence motion. Also, at the same time, there are efforts also to bring back the old political culture. A no-confidence motion can be brought against any post holder in the parliament, which is relevant to the opposition too. There is no legal binding regarding a deputy minister. That can be termed as an act of sabotage within that cannot be allowed. This is a kind of a political terrorism.
Moving on, heads of US Trade Representatives Agency met President Anurukumara Dissanayake today at the President's office. President's media unit stated that the US trade tariff imposed on Sri Lanka was also discussed at this meeting. The heads of the US Trade Representatives Agency commended the role of Sri Lankan team of representatives appointed to have talks on the US trade tariffs. They also commended the economic progress achieved by Sri Lanka at present. Concern was also raised regarding the support extended by the US Trade Representatives Agency for the Sri Lankan economic activities. They also focused on attention on the scheduled trade agreements to be signed between Sri Lanka and the USA. The President points out that Sri Lanka is a small country with recovering economy. Even a small external influence may cause heavy impact to Sri Lanka. The President stated, therefore, talks on trade agreements should be continued considering all such factors. Attention was also focused on strengthening long-term relations between the two states in taking all relevant decisions. U.S. Ambassador Julie Chung, South Asian Director of the U.S. Trade Agency, Emily Ashby, Deputy Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando, Governor of the Central Bank Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, Secretary to the Finance Ministry Dr. Harshna Surya Perumal and several top officials were present at this meeting. Meanwhile, a meeting between President Anur Kumar Dissanayake and the newly appointed board of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce was also held this morning at the Presidential Secretariat. President Anur Kumar Dissanayake explained the government's current economic approach, its direction and the manner in which the state and private sectors are being integrated to drive development and provide necessary facilities to the business community. The board of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce presented their vision, contributions to the national economy, future plans and proposals for the upcoming budget. Senior economic advisor to the President Duminda Hulangamua, Chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce Krishan Balendra and several others were present at the meeting.
And meanwhile, it has been decided by the government to grant the salary as an allowance until the demise of either spouses of civil defence heroes who died or disappeared during the terrorist attacks. Defence Secretary Vice Marshal Sampath Tuyekonta stated that 279 dependents have qualified for this allowance. The 90th anniversary of the Civil Defence Department falls on the 13th of September. The function was held opposite the War Hero Memorial of Civil Defence Department, Mihintale, on this occasion yesterday evening. Defence Secretary Air Vice Marshal Sampath Tuyekonta said that a cabinet paper has been presented to provide as an allowance in the future until their death to spouses the salary paid until the age of 55 for 146 war heroes who either died or disappeared during the terrorist attacks. The approval of the President has been received for the cabinet paper to provide the concerned allowance to 17 fully disabled war heroes and 279 dependents of those who died as disappeared.
An appeal filed by former Minister Prasanna Ranatunga requesting to issue an acquittal order from the suspended jail term and fine rule against him has been withdrawn by his attorneys at law. The appeal was taken up today in the presence of a 5-judge bench. The attorney at law appearing on behalf of petitioner Prasanna Ranatunga told the court that this client is ready to withdraw the appeal filed by him. Accordingly, the appeal court ordered defendant Prasanna Ranatunga to pay the compensation of 1 million rupees within a time frame of 1 month from today, ordered by the Colombo High Court. In addition, the bench of judges ordered Prasanna Ranatunga to pay completely the fine of 25 million rupees ordered by the Colombo High Court in an installment basis of 1 million rupees per month before the June of 2027. The Supreme Court permitted today to take up the hearing of a fundamental rights petition filed against parliamentarian Nama Rajapaksa. The petition has requested to issue an order stating that the fundamental rights of the people has been violated by not paying the amount of more than 2 million rupees in time for the electricity which they used during the wedding ceremony of the parliamentarian. The petition had been filed by an attorney at law.
Minister Anand Vijayapala says that international red notices have been issued to 70 criminals as of now. The minister stated in Parliament today that 15 persons, including 14 to whom red notices have been issued, have already been taken into custody. Minister Anand Vijayapala pointed out that information has been received to the effect that most of the organized criminals leave the country for UAE, Italy, France, Switzerland, Dubai, Indonesia, Canada, Russia, Oman and India and stay in a stealthy manner in order to evade the legal procedure. Action has to be taken via the foreign diplomatic network of Sri Lanka in this regard. Steps also have been taken to get international red notices issued against 72 criminals by now. 15 persons who have been issued with red notices, including organized criminals and drug peddlers, have been taken into custody by the governments of Russia, Oman and under the instructions of the Attorney General's Department after completing the legal procedure in countries. The international police has also assisted in this process.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that she vehemently condemned the unethical threat made by SJB parliamentarian Prasad Sirivadana against NPP parliamentarian Lakmali Hemachandra. Addressing the parliament today, she requested the speaker to make a system to control unethical behaviours of parliamentarians. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that an opposition parliamentarian threatened government MP Lakmali Hemachandra yesterday in the House. This is not a threat merely to that parliamentarian. This is a threat to entire female MPs. For many years, representation of females in parliament was very low. Even today, it is the same. This is a violent trend and a verbal threat or violent harassment. The government is attempting to defeat this violent culture. The behavior of this opposition parliamentarian this morning depicts that old culture. The Prime Minister requests the opposition MPs to look at social media to get the opinion of the general public. Citizens totally reject such violent culture. The Prime Minister also urged the Speaker to issue a stern warning and to implement a procedure to discourage such violent behaviors. MP Prasad Sirivadana said that his speech was a comparable comment. He requested the Prime Minister not to use his speech to gain political advantage. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that this is not a talk for political gains. The statement of that parliamentarian should be thoroughly considered. All have to accept the threatening tone in this speech. The Prime Minister appeals SJB to understand the aim of his speech. It is useless merely to talk about women's rights. They should study how to implement them practically. Minister Bima Ratnayaka said that the relevant parliamentarian does not admit his fault even after the Prime Minister pointed out the seriousness of his speech. MP Prasad Sirivadana said that no member of the parliament has a problem regarding the action, but they talk about the reaction. If that female parliamentarian did not make that action, the relevant reaction would not be erupted. The Prime Minister said that the males who physically harass female also give such answers. After threatening, then insult again.
On your more local stories, the Intellectual Media Forum on the Development, Regulation and the Path of Tourism Industry in Sri Lanka was held online at the Government Information Department Auditorium today. Malkanthi Rajapaksa, the Director General of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, said that the policy manifesto of the authority has been prepared in line with the government's policy on tourism industry. The aim is to create an attractive destination and innovative tourism industry. Sampath Nishankar, the Managing Director of the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, said that a good approach has been initiated to advance forward with short and long-term plans for vast strategic processes. For this purpose, the aim is to obtain the service of all relevant institutions connected to the tourism industry. Professor D.S.C. Surangasilva of the Colombo University said that for the development of sustainable tourism industry, it is essential to develop the human resources. Relevant data should be obtained from universities to train the required human resources. A preliminary discussion to implement tourism industry based on Maligathan hermitage in Gampaha was held today under the patronage of Minister Sunil Handunnetti. Minister Sunil Handunnetti said that the foreigners who visit Sri Lanka need not only good for lodging but also experiences in Sri Lankan culture, values and history. The rock caves and inscriptions in the premises are of world concern. Therefore, they should be conserved and developed in a sustainable manner. Stay tuned with more local news after this break.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back with more local stories. And the fire occurred last night at the Sapugaskanda oil refinery complex has been completely extinguished.
According to the chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, DJ Rajakaruna, no disturbance has been caused to the oil refining process due to this incident. He informed the public not to panic since there will be no scarcity of oil. The fire had broken out around 6 p.m. yesterday, and the fire brigade along with the employees of the Sapugaskanda oil refinery were able to completely control it. Sri Lanka Air Force, the Navy and the Army also assisted in their efforts. Minister Anura Karunatilaka and Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe also visited the spot where the fire broke out last night. Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, DJ Rajakaruna, said that the fire which broke out at the oil tank of the Sapugaskanda oil refinery has been completely extinguished. The situation has been completely normalized. The fire was controlled within 1 hour. The staff was Muthu Rajavela and Kolon Nava, the 3 armed forces, the fire brigade along with other participated jointly to bring the situation under control. The fire was completely doused by 4 a.m. This will not at all affect the distribution of oil or cause any shortage of oil. The general should not be worried in this regard.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa left the official residence at Vijayaramamawatha in the noon today, and according to the reports, he has left for his residence Carlton House at Tangor. The draft bill to repeal the entitlements of presidents was passed in the Parliament yesterday. According to the provisions of the Act, they have to be completely to return the official residences provided for former presidents to the government. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa had left the official residence accordingly. Now let's take a look at several development news items in brief. The road from Kudavava Junction in Sravastipur Anuradhapur to Yoda Ala Bridge will be developed by laying carpet. A stretch of 1 kilometre will be developed at a cost of 37.2 million rupees. The development work started today under the patronage of North Central Province Governor Vasantha Jinadasa. Kumbuka Kotubadgoda Road in Horner, which was carpeted and developed, were vested in the public recently. A sum of 29 billion rupees was spent for this road project under the Punarudeta Maga 1000 Rural Road Development Projects. Kaludara District Parliamentary Oshani Umanga and many others were present at this occasion. The access road to Vinagapuram village in Valimada was developed by laying concrete at a cost of 2 million rupees. About 150 families in this village will have benefit by the road project.
The second day of the Pacific Angel exercise was held on the 9th of this month. This objective is to strengthen the response by global cooperation on occasions of disaster situations within Sri Lanka at the Maravilla Sea Coast area.
Search and rescue drills were held at the sea of the Maravilla coastal area on this occasion. Members of the Pacific Force of the United States, the Royal Australian Air Force, Air Self-Defense Force of Japan and the Indian Air Force, the National Security Forces of the Maldives and the Bangladesh Air Force, Sri Lanka Air Force and Sri Lanka Navy joined the exercises, which will end tomorrow. And now some more local news items in brief. The government has provided nearly 1,640 billion rupees to farmers as compensation for crop damages. Accordingly, 79.602 farmers of paddy, maize, big onion, potato, chili and soya crops have been granted compensation for damages of 95,126 acres. This insurance coverage has been given for the damages caused by floods, heavy rains, drought, diseases and damages caused by wild elephants. This is significant that no amount of money has been levied by the farmers for this insurance coverage. The Netherlands has granted an additional funds of 730,000 euros for the rural bridges construction project in Sri Lanka. Under this project, 162 bridges in rural areas will be constructed. The grant will support the additional needs of funds in this project. Former Director General of the Urban Development Authority Sampath Subedha Pujat Ratnayaka and his former Director and International Valuation Committee Chairman Koswatali Nage Veeravansa Pereira has been commenced arrest by the Bribery Commission. They have been charged of causing loss of nearly 30 million rupees to the Urban Development Authority in temporarily leasing a part of the land of the authority at Myra Place, Colombo 5. An almsgiving was offered to Mahasangha today at the place of Al-Labas accident to convey merits to the deceased and invoke blessings to the injured. 25 bhikkhus were present at this occasion, and the religious event has been jointly organized by the government institutions, business community and villagers of the Alla area. An all-night Pirit chanting was also held at this place last night. Coming up next is your international stories.
Welcome back. In your international news for tonight, France is seeing a day of protest led by a grassroots movement named Let's Block Everything in a show of anger against the political class and proposed budget cuts. The demonstrations are taking place on the same day. New Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu was sworn in following the toppling of his predecessor François Bayrou. In a no-confidence vote earlier this week, demonstrators blocked streets, set bins on fire and disrupted access to infrastructure and schools across the country. Around 250 people had been arrested by mid-morning, Interior Minister said in a statement. A bus was torched in Rennes and electric cables near Toulouse were sabotaged, he added. Several thousand people gathered in Paris, Marseille, Bordeaux and Montpellier. However, the disruption has remained fairly small scale. Most of the arrests were made in or around Paris, where about 1,000 protesters, many masked or wearing balaclavas, clashed with police outside Gare du Nord train station. Many protesters chanted political slogans against President Emmanuel Macron and Lecornu. Several carried placards against the war in Gaza. In sports news for tonight, Royal College Colombo and St. Sebastian's College Murto became the joint champions of the Under-19 First Division two-day cricket tournament.
And the match was played at Pizarro Oval Stadium in Colombo. The final was played at the three-day match. Batting first, the Royal College team scored 201 runs all out. Dushanu Devala scored 46 runs, and in bowling, Brian Disanaika and Malinta Devarwan of St. Sebastian's College shared 4 wickets each. In reply, St. Sebastian's team scored 201 runs all out in their first innings. Kavisha Kaushali scored a half-century. Scoring 51 runs, Sadhu Nabewardhan of Royal College captured 5 wickets. At the end of the third day, Royal College had scored 252 runs off the loss of 9 wickets. In the second innings, Rehan Peri scored 65 runs, and while in bowling, Malinta Devarwan of St. Sebastian's College claimed 5 wickets. Since the first innings totals were identical of both the teams, and both teams became joint championships of the tournament. The tournament was jointly organised by Sri Lanka Cricket and the Schools Cricket Association. And with that sports update, we'll be wrapping up tonight's news. Join us tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing off with Kenza. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.